My friends, episode 46 heading into the books right now, or onto the screen for that matter. Two dudes talking network marketing. And today we're going to mix it up and we're going to do it a little different than we normally do because this is a topic for me, Curry, that I thoroughly enjoy talking about. And I feel in the network marketing, the home based business space, it does not get talked about enough. But before we get to that, um, you're in another country right now. Where are you?
I
What's
am.
what's going
Yeah.
on?
Dude, I'm taking advantage of being a network marketer and having my time freedom, financial freedom, and somebody who is in my business said, "Hey, would you like to join me in this tropical destination?" Which I'm keeping secret, by the way, so I'm not even going to let anybody know where I'm at.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so I'm in a tropical destination in a
Yeah.
foreign country, and
You are
to be
not in the United States.
I am not in the United States. No, I am not. And but they said, would you like to join me? And I did. And it's because I can. I have nothing else to do. I have no, it's like
How
if
freaking cool is that though, dude? Like you're just like chilling at home one day and then someone reaches out to you and says, "Hey, do you want to come here?" And you're like, "Sure."
it's exactly how it is. I pulled up the resort. They had a package with flight and stay and all inclusive, and I just clicked it and picked the one for the day for I flew in yesterday, fly out Friday, and I'm here hanging out and drinking and dancing and having a good time, you know?
Life is good.
It's a good life, buddy. It's a good
That's
life.
freaking awesome, man.
And by the way, and I don't mean to say this to offend anybody. This isn't the episode that we want to offend anybody, but when I had
Not
just
on
a
purpose
job,
anyway.
when I had a job and that was all I had and I didn't have extra, this could have never happened. There
Yeah.
would have never in my lifetime been the option of traveling on a whim anywhere. Like it was, I was living paycheck to paycheck, and any vacation we took was we had to wait till tax time to get that money back to see if we could go on vacation
Hmm.
because nobody has extra, and now there's an abundance of extra.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I I said to you last week, we didn't say it on camera, but now that we're recording, I'm going to put you on the spot. But it's, I feel like you're almost in a position where you're like yes man from Jim Carrey, like that movie where it's like anyone asks you a question, yes, yes.
yep, it's very simple, but I mean, you have to get really good at saying no too. Like you have to get really
Yeah, for
good at
sure.
being like, no. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of yes, there's a lot of ability and options that never existed before.
Well, speaking of traveling, being out of the country, doing cool stuff that we enjoy, here's the thing about home-based business, guys, and this is what I don't feel in the industry overall gets talked about enough, and that is if you are a home-based business owner, you have massive, massive, massive tax advantages. Now, before we go on and talk about anything else, after I said that wonderful statement, Curry nor myself are tax professionals. We are not giving you guidance. We are simply sharing information. That is all we were doing on this wonderful episode here today. So, yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But let me tell you this. If you have a home based business, which if you are in network marketing, cha-ching, you have a home based business, which is awesome. You now have the ability, so I've been told, to write a lot of information off, write a lot of things off. So I think I forget the actual number. I think it's over somewhere over 200 tax deductions that you can qualify for every single year. And let me tell you something. I try to utilize all of them, but I'm going to throw a big but out there. I think once you get into the home based business realm, even if you're still working a job and you have your standard W 2, but you also have your home based business income, which is your 1099, at least, here in the United States. And I'm sure if you're watching this in another country, I'm sure there's a lot of similarities with tax codes and everything because a lot of the governments operate very similarly. It is critical on your part to have a really good tax professional. And when I say good, I don't mean, if you're just a regular W-2, you can certainly do your taxes yourself. You can go on to TurboTax or any of those other like home, do it yourself things. They're pretty simple with just a straight W-2. And if you don't have a lot of deductions or um, what's the other word I'm looking for? Not beneficiaries, dependents. Thank you.
Dependence. That's a
De-
good word. Yeah.
dependents. If you don't have a lot of dependents and have to figure out, any of that sort of stuff, it's very straightforward. You could do it yourself. But um, I would recommend doing some homework and finding a good tax professional that is also familiar with home-based business. Like I'll give you an example. My previous tax guy who lived up in New Hampshire um, owned his own home-based tax business out of his house. Who's more familiar with home-based business than a tax guy that runs his tax business out of his home? Um, but finding someone that really knows that stuff, I've not had great luck with H&R Block. I've not had great luck with these Jackson Hewitts and these tax places that you could just walk into off the street. They're, maybe they're familiar with it, maybe they're not, but just do your homework, because having that person that's basically like in your corner and knows what taxes that you could take advantage of. And when I say take advantage, I just mean use. They're out there for you to use, and have at your disposal, versus not knowing about them and not being able to use that to help save you money. Um, Curry, anything to add? Because I could ramble on here forever here talking about the stuff. I think this is really fun
This
topic for me.
this is the Dan episode, really. This is the Dan episode. The actual, years ago when we were friends, no, I can't say that. I didn't mean it like that. We're still friends with Joel and Grady. Grady's dad put out an incredible book with so many tax breaks for home-based business people, and I bought that book from him, and it's got a massive amount of things to make sure that you track and write off. And
Yeah.
and let me tell you, the idea of write-offs in your business, especially in the beginning. Like if you're there's so many. I remember when I got started in my first network marketing company, we went to four um, major events around the country every single year. So we had flights, hotels, car rentals, the cost of the event, things that we purchased at the event, food and dining, entertainment, things that we could literally all of it write off,
Mm-hmm.
all every single event we went to. And then we had local events that we drove to, and we could track miles for all of the things that we went to and from at those local events, and
Mm-hmm.
going to local meetings, going to your, to have dinner or lunch with people in your team, meetings that you have. All of that is available for you
Mm-hmm.
to say, this was an expense to me for my business,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to get to take a percentage of that off of the my expense to my taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And so what this is doing is literally just offsetting your tax burden and saying, okay, as a human being, I owe X amount of dollars. And then they go, okay, but did you do these things? And
Mm-hmm.
then did you do all these things right? And then we're going to reduce all of this tax burden and even possibly bring your tax burden to zero,
Mm-hmm.
um, offset by your income, offset by everything else. So this is how the wealthy get wealthier. They play this
Yeah.
game very, very well because, and by the way, I loved how you said that you worked with a tax professional who ran their tax business out of their house. You know, one of the things I love about accountants, my stepmom she worked for one my whole youth growing up. The ones who seem to work out of their own house or Jerry's accountant service or whoever it is, they work year round as
Mm-hmm.
an accountant service and service businesses mostly. Like they
Yep.
do the books for businesses.
Yeah.
So
B2B.
they have, yeah, so they do have a lot more of a awareness of those write-offs to help give you the biggest tax break
For
because they
sure.
want the biggest benefit. Like the accountant wants the benefit because they're going to get a percentage or a number, a fee for their services. So they want to make sure you're coming back every single year.
Yeah. Yeah. And having that, one of the best things that you could do is, in your local area, like maybe on Facebook, post and say, hey, I'm looking for a good tax consultant familiar with home-based business. And you could reach out that way, make a post, whatever, ask around, ask friends and family, ask, whoever. But do your research there. And that was my challenge when I moved from New England down here to Myrtle Beach was, hey, geez, now like I had a great tax guy for like 6 years. Now I got to do some homework. And lo and behold, what I did is I was talking to some neighbors. One of my neighbors across the street happened to work for a CPA firm and got to talking. I went down and I met with them and I said, wow, okay, these guys know their stuff. And one of the things that I really liked is I actually brought my previous year's taxes, which was done by my buddy Frank up in New Hampshire, and I brought that down to this CPA firm and I met with them and we're just sitting and she's flipping through and she's like, um, hey, tell me about this right here. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, if you had done this and this, that would have saved you an extra $2,500. I go, ooh, I like you. Like, so it's great to find that person that is going to help you, get all your ducks in a row. But I'm going to give you guys a super big tip for me. And what you guys need to realize is like there's so many different ways that you guys can start saving. You guys can, Curry mentioned keeping track of, receipts and what you're spending and where you're spending it. But so many things can be a tax write-off for you. So, the vehicle that you're driving, if you're driving to a work event, the gas that you're putting in your car, the meals if you're on the way there, travel. Like as an example, Curry is traveling right now. I do a lot of golfing, and you might think, how is golf a work expense? Well, if I'm golfing and I'm discussing business while I'm golfing, that golf outing is now a business expense. Okay. And I'm going to say this lightly, there's a lot of ways where you could meander through what is and isn't a business expense. Again, not a certified tax professional, but take it with years of experience when you go out to dinner. If you discuss business while you're at dinner, that could be considered a business write-off. Okay. So there's a lot of different ways to work that. And I've gone on I have a business trip coming up. What we're let's see, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be heading down to Texas. So the flight, the hotel, every single one of my meals, since I'm going down there for a business, is all a tax write-off. But one of the best ways, Curry, that I've found over the years, and please let this be a huge lesson. If you take anything away from today, take this away. When it comes to tax time, for me, over the years, I used to worry about literally keeping every single receipt. And you can do that if you want. If you're that, we'll just call it anal. If you're that anal and you want to do that, but you don't have to. For me, I use something like American Express. I am a huge, huge, huge American Express fanboy. And I have three different cards with them. I have the main platinum card, I have the Sky Miles card, and I also have a Hilton card. In my humble opinion, you should never, ever, ever pay for anything out of your bank account. You should never use a debit card to pay for anything. Because, Curry, when you buy something with your debit card, besides the thing that you're buying, what do you get in return from your bank? What do they do for you?
Zero. Zero. They give you nothing back.
You get jack shit, right? You get nothing. Yeah. When you buy something with Amex, you can get miles, you can get hotel points. I love the platinum card because it comes with so many perks. When I travel, I get access to the Sky Miles Lounge for free which means I get free food, I get free drink, I get nice big comfy seats, I get to go away from the herd of people that are all just waiting in line. I get to go be comfortable. Um, but what's really great about Amex, what they do, and I'm sure a lot of credit card companies do this too, at the end of the year, they take every single expense that you made and they break it down into tax categories, meaning travel, entertainment, food and beverage, and they literally break it all down into like seven categories. So for me, at the end of the year, I print out I print out my end of year statement and I literally just slide that to my tax professional. And all they do is take all the numbers and they plug them into the categories and they're done. It's so super simple for them. And it's super simple for me because I don't have to worry about keeping receipts because Amex kept all the receipts for me. So it makes it really simple. And I can literally print that out and I can go, this, I can just circle or highlight the category and go, this one, this one, this one. Those are all business expenses. And it makes the entire tax process really easy because I've seen people, they literally do the stacks of receipts and they're like, oh, I can't find the receipt for this. It's like, yeah, Amex has it. You don't have to worry about it. So it's kind of twofold for me when I'm spending money. I never, ever, ever spend money out of my bank account. I almost never pay cash for anything because when you use a debit card, when you spend cash, you get absolutely zero in return. When you're putting everything on a credit card, credit cards that have points or miles or hotel things or whatever, then you can do that. And doing this over the years by smart spending, and then you just take the money that's in your bank account, and at the end of the month, hopefully, you pay off your bill. So every month you're clean, you're whole, right? Over the years, my wife and I have literally racked up over 1 million points between hotels and flights. We could literally jump on a plane tomorrow and go wherever we want and stay in whatever hotel we want because we're smart spending. So I guess we're talking about taxes, but we're also talking about doing it smart too. But again, I think Curry, these are the episodes that, you know, just from a business standpoint, from a home-based business standpoint, like these are the things that never get discussed in this industry that I really think should get discussed more because, gosh, you have so many advantages that you don't even realize if you just kind of maybe just opened your eyes a little bit more.
Well, let's talk about the really big one to me. This one's the one that got me really involved in being cognizant of my breaks, and that's marketing. I mean, the cost of marketing. Like everything that you do in network marketing, if you buy products to market them, you can write those products off. Like, even if you're going to use them every day, if you're literally taking those boxes of products, those physical products, and you're making content, and then you take that content and then you run Facebook ads or run Google ads or run YouTube ads directly to those product offerings, because the
Hmm.
name of the game in this business is eyes on your prize.
Yeah.
So if you're just blasting Facebook and you don't have any expense, there's nothing to write off. But you personally, I'm glad I've got this line right down the center of my face from this door
Like,
frame
yeah,
in the
your
sun.
auto ship, your monthly auto ship is a
Yeah,
business
everything.
expense.
And it is wild that people are afraid to invest in, and I like the word invest here because you
Hmm.
put money into marketing
Yep.
that will build your business.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean that every single month it's going to work out great. I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on Facebook ads with no result, but I've made so much money otherwise in network marketing that those ads are write-offs that I need to offset, income.
Yeah.
So I pay for a lot of marketing, man. I pay for tools like Canva, and I pay for hosting, and I pay for graphic design. I pay for other things that I use every single day.
Hmm.
And dude, every single one of those things is a monthly charge. It's a monthly write-off.
Yeah. Yeah. Typically, if your home-based business comes with, if your network marketing business comes with, a monthly membership, whether it's $50 or $10 or $100 or, some companies it's more, um, just to be, to maintain your active member status. And sometimes that's buying a product, buying a service, whatever it is. Those can be tax deductible business expenses. And like Curry was saying, like if you go out and you buy solo ads, if you go out and you buy traffic, you go buy clicks, you go buy into link rotators or anything like that, those purchases, those are all business expenses that should be written off. So again, just think about all of these things. And of course, you can, a great source of information resource would be using something like ChatGPT, where you could ask it and say, hey, I'm doing this, this, and this, and this, can these be considered, um, you know, taxable expenses for my business? Or you could say, hey, give me a list of, things that I could be writing off. But again, do your own research. That's certainly the way to go. But realize, like, by having a home-based business, if you're not taking advantage of these things, you are leaving a massive, massive amount of money on the table, especially when you're new, because you might think, oh, well, I haven't made any money yet. And this is another important one too, where again, doesn't get talked about enough. You might think, well, I've been in it for a month, 6 months, a year, and I haven't made any money yet. I can't claim anything. 100% incorrect. So I've been told. I'm just going to keep throwing that out there. But here's the guideline, and this was told to me by a tax professional. I'm just simply relaying the information. As long as you are attempting to make a profit, keywords there, then you still have the ability to write certain things off. So even if you're with your business, let's say, we'll throw out a hypothetical. Let's say you got started, you invested $1,000 to join your network marketing company. You bought some products, you brought your thing. So you spend $1,000, then you're paying $100 a month, and a year goes by. So now you're $1,200 in monthly memberships, plus that $2,200 in. Maybe you bought some traffic, maybe you bought some ads, maybe you bought some stuff. So let's say you're about $3,000 in the hole in your business. You haven't made any money. You hypothetically 100% can write off all of those things. And if you drove anywhere, if you traveled anywhere, if you went to any meetings, let's say that you flew out to Vegas to go to a business meeting with your company, and the event cost you $500 to get in, the hotel cost you another $500, the plane flight was $850. Well, guess what? There's lots of money in expenses for your business, even though you did not make a profit. As long as you are attempting to make a profit, you have the ability to do that, I believe, so I've been told, for your first 3 years, that you can attempt to make a profit and not make any money and still have tax business deductions that you can claim. Okay. So again,
They put that in place specifically because most businesses do not turn a profit in 2 years
yeah.
if they outlast 2 years. So they have to put things in place to help business owners stay afloat. And so that's why these expenses or not expenses, but write-offs were created to help businesses at the beginning of their launch, the beginning of their company, because the government hopes that a business will be profitable, so more taxes will come into the government from that
Mm-hmm.
business. So it is beneficial to the government to have these policies in place to make sure that businesses can thrive versus suffer as they launch their business. Because opening a normal business, a regular brick and mortar business, the amount of money to get off the ground is outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
I've personally been looking at buying
I was
a
literally
sports
just thinking that.
yeah, I've been thinking about buying a sports clips franchise because I love going to sports clips and I wish there was one closer to me. So I'd like to possibly just buy one and put one in place so I can just, walk in and get my hair cut whenever I want. And this is hilarious that it's real because it's like to launch a sports clips, $288,000. It's not a lot of money
Yeah.
for a franchise that is turning over massive profits every year and it never stops. There's never going to be a day, except for Dan's situation, where you run out of people to have haircuts. You know,
Yeah.
the haircuts and death really, and taxes, constant. But man, that sun just got so bright. I can't even see at the moment. Um, but it's have buying a franchise like that, $288,000, 100% of that cost is immediately a write-off.
Yeah.
100% to buy a franchise. And that doesn't even include all of the work that's about to go into it. That is a launchable expense. So what you start up with in your home-based business, whatever it is, all of your initial expenses, everything should be considered, something you're going to write off.
Yeah. And I mean, a perfect example is,
Give me
let's say
just a
when you're
second.
just when you're just getting started, guys, like, and let's just look at um, my office here, right? And I know I'm going to try to give you guys some like real life examples. So I was setting up my home office, and by the way, part of your home can be considered a tax deductible expense. You have the ability to write off a percentage of your home. Um, so that would be a percentage of your utilities, a percentage like Wi-Fi for your business, books that I invested into myself, into my own business to learn. Like some of these things are actually like business books over here, not just, so I could learn more about marketing. If you buy courses, if you buy courses that you learn how to market, you learn how to do Facebook ads, you learn how to do online marketing, whatever it is, and you're
You telling
spending
me I
on
can
your
write off
courses.
my Audible expense? Can I write off my Audible expense?
If you're Audible, yeah, I mean,
That's
I'm
where I get
sure,
all my Harlequin novels. So that's where I get the
I'm
Harlequins.
sure there's a way to figure that in there. I'm sure if you had a good tax professional, you could probably do that. But as an example, microphone, MacBook, camera, tripod, boom stand, you know, notebook, pens, like these are all tax deductible expenses, like the desk that I'm sitting at, the chair that I'm sitting on, um, furniture in the office. I have a chair over here. I have a clock over here. I have like things that I did for my home office. Those can all be, so I've been told, tax deductible business expenses. I'm going to throw that in there as many times as I can. We should have a little ticker at the bottom counting. But these are things again that most people don't think about. You need to go out and buy a new phone, buy a new iPad, buy extra data
Printers.
for your devices. Again, those are all things that could be considered tax deductible business expenses, but these are things that you want to be aware of, cognizant of as you're out there building your business, especially the longer you're in it, the more you're doing it, the more you're going to be racking up. And again, to circle back for me, a great way, you could go out and get, you know, this video is not brought to you by Amex, but it should be. You can go out and get, maybe go get a Hilton Honors Amex card, maybe go get a Delta Sky Miles card. So that way, every time you're doing literally anything for your business, you're racking up miles or you're racking up hotel points or whatever it is. Or maybe you put your monthly auto ship or your monthly membership, um, on an Amex card. So that way it's like your business is essentially like paying for itself because you're not only going to be having those tax advantages, but you're also going to be earning points or earning miles at the same time. And that stuff adds up over time. Telling you, like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we just went to, where did we go last year? We went to Tennessee, went to Nashville. And we just, it was paid for with points. Freaking cool is that? Um, so you have great advantages in front of you guys. You just need to be aware of them. You need to take advantage of them. They're there for you, and don't feel like the rules were created for you guys to work within them. And a good tax professional is going to know that. It's the same way. We get to travel, and like I said, the plane, the hotel, the food, all that stuff is all business expenses.
And by the way, I know it's this one is a more riskier conversation, but you also can employ your kids. So there's things you can do, especially if you move your
100% true.
business into an LLC and not just
Hmm.
yourself. But you set up an LLC for your home-based business and the operations that you have in it, and you can pay your kids and get a tax write-off on your kids' efforts in your business every
Hmm.
single year. And one of the things that I have done is on all of my credit cards, because kids can't own credit cards, you can set them up as co-signers and you can actually build their credit before they even hit 18 just by them. So you set up a credit card like Dan's talking about with his American Express, and you set the auto pay feature to automatically withdraw every single month from whatever payment source that you have. And then every single month that gets paid off, they're getting that recurring credit on them. So
Hmm.
they're seeing that they have a good history of a write-off or payoffs. And so when they turn 18, both of my kids will have all this history of good payment, and their credit score will be much higher than a kid coming out with no credit.
For sure. Yeah.
Or that's what I've heard.
Yeah. I've heard that rumor too. But yeah, and I, if you're really serious, guys, and I would recommend being really serious if you want to be a successful professional network marketer, I would look at getting either an LLC, or a great one if you take advantage of it is an S corp. Because there's a lot of cool things you can do with an S corp, where like Curry was talking about, you can have your kids in there. You can even employ maybe your spouse, maybe a significant other. And I believe, don't quote me on this one because I'm not a tax professional, but there is a certain amount of money that you can pay family members and have it not be taxed. Um, so I've heard. That's a rumor. But there's guys, like there's a lot of great things that you can do. And quick funny story. I was thinking of this while you were talking, Curry. 2 years ago, we went with some friends on a business trip down to where were we? Charleston, South Carolina, about 2 hours from here. And we were staying in a Hilton, of course, because all we use is Hilton since we're Amex Hilton members. And by the way, being a Diamond member with Hilton, super cool perks. Like, and this is why when you're going out with whether it be a platinum card or you know with these hotel cards, you start off at like a base. You go to gold, silver, then bronze, silver, gold, and then you can move up to like platinum and diamond and whatever. Being a diamond member, man, like it has like some super cool perks. And this doesn't have to do with being a diamond member, but I was sitting in the lounge in the morning just having a cup of coffee while the wives and everything, they were still kind of getting up, and me and my other buddy that I was traveling with were sitting in the hotel lounge. I just had my MacBook out, and there was a guy from Hilton that was there, that was walking around, giving away. He had his little tablet, and I don't know if he was there from Amex or he was there from Hilton, but he was walking around, professional guy walking around, and he was giving customers free points. They're like, hey, are you with Hilton? Are you a Hilton, Diamond member? Are you a Hilton member? And if they weren't, he would get them to sign up, and he would give them a free 5,000 points or 10,000 points or whatever it was. And I kind of overheard some of his conversations because he was sitting behind me. And I kind of turned around. I said, hey, buddy. I'm like, are you giving away free points? He's like, yeah, you want some points? You're a Hilton member? I said, I sure am. I said, I'm a Diamond member. He goes, yeah. He's like, he goes, what's your name? I'll give you some points. Types my name in, and he goes, dude, 750,000 points. He's like, you want me to give you points? I'm like, you're offering. He goes, all right, fine. I'll give you 1,000 points. I was like, thanks, buddy. Thanks.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, the look he gave me when he saw how many points I had, he was just like,
You know
okay.
what's that bugs me more, that you want to give a benefit to somebody who may never use your product versus ultra reward the person who uses the crap out of your products.
Yeah.
I, it's fascinating to me. I got into a discussion about benefits like this week, where I'm running a personal contest in my company, and not it's not a contest, it's just a metered thing. And and somebody was upset. They were like, "You're going to give a benefit to somebody who just gets started versus reward the people." I'm like, "Have you ever been with a cable company? Because they always have new customer bonuses that I can't ever get. Always having
Yeah.
some new little thing for a kickoff." And it's like, dude, it is funny when you say that. Well, we'll give you 1,000 points. It's like, give that guy 100,000 points. He's using them. Like he's literally, dude. I have had millions upon millions because I traveled for a living, like for
Hmm.
20 years, nothing but 80% of the year living in hotels. My points were outrageous.
Yeah.
Uh, so the benefits to me of using the cards, using the miles, using the points, it was funny. I joined my very first network marketing company specifically because I had changed companies and I had actually started running out of points because for years that I wasn't in a network marketing company, I only took vacation with points.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I can't save money on vacations, how am I going to be able to take my family on any more fun adventures?
Yeah.
And so now it's like the points are so ingrained in my soul.
Hmm.
It's like I gotta get my points, man. Gotta get them points.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, I'll give you guys an example how we typically do it here in our household is I'll take all of the I do it two different ways. I do all of my business expenses, so all of my memberships that I have, any tools and online digital stuff that I'm paying for, email autoresponders, video hosting, integration tools and softwares, page builders, stuff like that. They all go on my Hilton Honors card. So all of my business keeps racking up hotel points while I'm spending money on that stuff. If I buy ads, if I buy courses, if I buy books, if I buy, new tools and, gear for my business, that all goes on one card. All of our personal stuff uh, goes on a different Amex. That goes on our Sky Miles card. So anytime we're buying groceries, putting gas in the car, like all of like all my utilities, my Wi-Fi, my electric, my gas, all my utilities here for the house, pest control, all that stuff gets put on the Sky Miles card. So they're separate. So I have all my business stuff over here. So all our personal stuff racks up airline miles. All of my business stuff racks up hotel points. So we just kind of have it split. So it's kind of easy to keep track of like what's personal, what's business. At the end of the year, Amex just goes, here's all your expenses. Slide that piece of paper to my tax professional. Boom, it's all there. I don't need to keep receipts for anything. Amex keeps track of what category, what stuff falls into. Super, super simple. And every single time we spend money on anything, we're getting something in return. Because again, we don't spend money out of our bank account. We'll never ever do that. So you want to do something where if you're going to give your money to somebody for anything in life, whether you're going to buy a case of beer, taking your family out to dinner, you're going to a ball game, you're buying something for your business, you're doing whatever, you might as well get something in return. So I would definitely look into that. And I would look into getting a good, solid tax professional because you have a lot of things that you guys can take advantage of. And again, even if you're not turning a profit, you have the ability to get some good tax breaks. So I've been told. So, you know, uh, yeah, it doesn't get discussed enough, Curry. I think more people need more awareness around this topic because um, it. I like being in a position where you and I are, where we can educate people on how to be better network marketers and not just from, hey, go send a bunch of DMs and go post and go do this, but like to be like a real home-based professional. I think it's a feel good moment for me, man, because like if people realize like what they can actually do with this business, with this industry, it's pretty epic. It's pretty awesome.
And it's a really great selling point. Like if you're trying to recruit people to a home-based business, the tax write-offs um, of having the 1099 is almost worth more than making money. Because on top of your W-2, while you're working your business, you're stacking those write-offs, and it can offset tax money. And it's dude, it's just so wild that there's so many people that have a 1099, don't make much money, but they get so many benefits.
Hmm.
And that's it's such a good selling point. But
I remember the first time I had my taxes done, um, with my guy up in New Hampshire there. First time I had my taxes done. Um, and he did, he covered all the bases. Normally at the end of the year, I would be, maybe getting a couple $100 back. I never really owed money, but maybe getting a couple $100 back. Nothing crazy. And the first time he did my taxes, and I took it, I took advantage of being a home-based business owner. I literally looked at the number and I just went, "Whoa." I'm like, "That's my refund?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Whoa." And yeah, it was in the thousands, guys. It was in the thousands. So um, don't leave that stuff to chance. Um, Even though you think you might be good at it, you might be good at numbers or whatever. Once you're diving into that realm of, home-based business, seek out a good tax professional, somebody that knows home-based business, and it'll do nothing but benefit you. And I think, I don't know, I think that's kind of it, Curry. I think we kind of just hopefully created a little bit of awareness around this topic. That was our goal here, is to create a little bit of awareness. And since we're not tax professionals, we can't really tell you too much more.
I will say that as we wrap this up, I'm really sad that we didn't use the word confidence once. We didn't mention Jim Rohn once. This is a failure episode, really. It's a failure.
Gosh, we suck.
Ah,
We
we
suck.
only provided a little bit of information without referencing any of our heroes, and our keywords.
Well,
But
I
we
bet
did
Jim
use
Rohn had a good tax professional.
both of us used cognizant in a sentence, and I'm proud of that. That's a fun thing. So
This is
that's nice.
true.
Yeah,
But I
dude.
bet I bet Jim did have good tax professionals.
I bet he did. I mean, I bet he did at that time. Yep. All
I'm
right, man.
willing to
Well,
bet that every single successful network marketer or trainer has a good tax professional. I would bet my life on it.
dude, it is definitely important. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the beach. So, dude, I appreciate you.
Yeah, buddy. Enjoy your
Sorry for
enjoy
my
your
view.
time in that destination that you're in.
That's it. Good. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here and sipping on some frozen rum runners all day. My favorite drink when am I in a tropical destination? So,
Hmm. Well, you
and
enjoy
I'm
it, my
ready.
friend. Episode 46 in the books, and yeah, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Hey, by the way, while you're here, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already. Like maybe you got some value from today. Subscribe, smash that thing, hit the bell icon. Be awesome. If you're watching this, you're already awesome, but be awesomer. That's a word. We'll see you later.